Okay, back. The chakra work. Today is backwards day. It means backwards. Backwards. Doing things topsy-turvy. Let's see. We're going to change our spot. I hear my dog drinking water in the background. She's on some heartworm pills. Makes her thirsty. She'll drink a whole bowl of water in like one sitting and I have to go fill it up again. I'm filling up that thing like 5 times a day. Hi, Skylar. Okay. This is for our sacred work of healing, ancestors, gods, spirit guides. I am universal flow. Whatever you turn to in times of need, despair, or even times of happiness. What energies, spirits you call upon. Be with us now as we heal ourselves with the intention of healing the collective. And so it is. All right. Let's jump into it. Wheels of life. Wheels of life. We're going to start with our meditation. As usual, root chakra, grounding meditation. Get my feet flat on the floor. Let's get this computer back a little bit. Okay, grounding meditation. Find a comfortable chair and sit with your back straight, both feet planted firmly on the floor. Take a deep breath. Feel your body contract and expand as you breathe. Feel your legs, your feet, and the floor they are placed on. Feel the solidity of that contact. Feel the chair beneath you. Feel the weight of your body in it and how the force of gravity naturally pulls you downward. Easily, soothingly. Bring your attention to your feet. Ever so slightly, press your feet into the floor and feel your legs engage with the earth plane. Do not let this pressure become tension so that the muscles in your legs tighten, but feel a subtle current of energy running from your first chakra down into the earth. Try to keep this current going as we move on to grounding the upper body. As you tune into the weight of your body, you will gradually become aware of the center of gravity at the base of your spine. Feel how your body is now resting on that point and focus on it as if it were an anchor holding you down. When you feel anchored at this spot, you can begin to integrate the rest of your body into your grounding. Okay. Tune into your torso, focusing your attention on the central channel of your body. This is not the spine, which is closer to the back of your body, but the part of our internal core that is aligned right over that center of gravity. Take a moment to align the top of your head, your throat, your heart, your stomach, abdomen, all the other chakras with the base chakra on which they rest. Take a deep breath. And allow this alignment to gently settle in and balance over the first chakra. We have now established a vertical column of energy. Imagine this column as a great cord, preferably of a deep red color, running from far above your head through the center of your body and down into the ground, passing directly through the empty space between your seat and the floor. Take special time to make sure this cord runs through your anchor point in the first chakra and continues not only to the ground, but deep down into it. If you can, visualize it going all the way to the center of the earth, with the earth's gravitational field pulling it down to its core. Spend some time at this point checking to keep all the parts going, the feet slightly pressing into the floor, the chakras aligned directly over each other, the red column of energy pulling us downward, the harmonious feel of gravity rooting us, anchoring our physical and subtle bodies together. Gradually let your torso sway forward and back, side to side, and then a circular motion over this first chakra. Nice. Notice how the point at the base of your spine does not move, yet the body moves around it. We want to be able to keep our grounding even in movement, and this allows the body to practice this skill. Allow excess tension to drain off into the ground, still keeping the feet slightly pressed into the floor, then return to stillness once again. Okay, I did a little bit longer this time because I have a big transition coming up in my life. Grounding is going to be of utmost importance. So now we're going to jump into our yoga postures. Oy, 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 oy. Oh. I just touch real quick. Okay, here we go. Knee to chest. Bridge pose. Ooh. Lower. Oh. Bridge pose again. Lower. Locust. Movement. Chakra movement exercises. Okay. Okay, on your toes. Excuse me. Establishing the cord of energy, going down into the ground. Lower. Up. Lower. Lower. Good. Stand your ground pose. Nice. Oh, what's the next one? Oh, elephant. Okay. One. Okay, good. Oh, feet up. Yeah. It's the stool. I'll turn on the camera. Nice. It's warm in here. I'm going to open the back door. We had a really good rain this morning. Came out of nowhere. Happened while I was meditating, which was great because I love the sound of rain. Well, especially when I'm meditating. I don't know if you guys can even hear me, but if you can, then you can. Okay. Let's find my glasses. Sacral chakra. So we're going to do the long one this morning. I have a little bit of time. I'm picking up my nieces later today. I have about an hour. Okay. Chakra 2, water. Quietly, you lie or sit at peace, alive against the earth that is still, solid, unmoving. You are still. Yet for every ebb and flow of breath, there is movement in your body. There is change. From inner to outer, from outer to inner, the path between the worlds is woven through you. The path of change. As your chest rises, the breath moves through your nose, throat, and lungs. It ebbs and flows as evenly and gracefully as waves upon a shore. Back and forth, empty, full, in, out. Inside, your heart beats, your blood pulsates. A river of life connects to each and every cell within you. Blood flows outward, blood flows in towards the center again. Your cells expand and contract, ever reproducing, dying. Wiggle a finger back and forth. Impulses of nerves run down your arms. Your breathing continues in and out, in and out. Deep in your belly, you become aware of a warm glow of orange pulsing through your pelvis, through your abdomen, through your genitals. Pulsations of orange light move in rivulets down your legs, up again through your thighs, flowing through your belly, up through your back to nourish all of you. You are alive. You are a wave of motion. Nothing within you is truly still. Nothing around you is still. Everything is constantly changing at each and every moment. Every sound, every ray of light, every breath is an oscillation. Back and forth, constantly moving, swaying, flowing. By the time you finish this meditation, both you and the world will be different. Within your body is a river of change. Find the subtle inner flow of movement and thought. Moving up, down, around, and through. Find them and follow them. Allow them to gain momentum, removing obstacles by easing any tension you may find. Mm. Mm. Exaggerate their flow with outward movements. Sway in your chair. Rock back and forth, creating a rhythmic movement. Let the rhythm build until you feel like getting up, even with this book in your hand. Get up and move around. Swaying on your feet, circling your hips, bending your knees, always keeping the flow easy and steady, remembering your roots below. You sway back and forth, up and down, in and out, expanding, yet ever returning to your core self once again. You move with the flow of water, sometimes like a great river, sometimes like a quick spring, sometimes languishing like a quiet lake, sometimes passionate like the waves of the sea. Raise an arm and imagine water flowing down through it. Feel the wet fluid run down your back, your buttocks, and your toes. Think of the water as it flows from the sky, caressing the mountains, running in rivulets to its various pools. Imagine water raining down on you, caressing your body, running in rivulets down your pelvis and legs, down to the soft earth below. You are the rain as you fall effortlessly from heaven to earth. You are many droplets as your thoughts fall from your mind in tiny movements. The tides within you grow and move faster as they plunge downward, cascading over pentacles of earth. Then slowly as they slither serpentine through across the great valleys of your fertile fields, until as one you ebb and flow with the tides of the sea, pulled by the moon in its dark and light. Your oceans vast and deep, abound with life. Your passion reaches outward and spills onto the shore, pulling its movements through you as your life ebbs and flows. In and out you breathe. From the vast depths of ebb and flow, you reach, you touch, you find your body. Sensations flow into your hands across your skin, sensations known to none but you. Your hands move across curves of flesh, following lines of movement. You sway to the sensuality of your touch. Inside you rise emotions, churning, yearning, flowing, bubbling. They reach and touch and rise. Lost my spot. Becoming movements, waves change, the water flows within, without. You are alone, yet others are around you. They too ebb and flow and change and touch and yearn. Your movements flow to join them, desiring to unite, to merge. Your movements flow to join them, desiring to unite, to merge, to move towards something new. Your hands long to touch, to pull the oceans closer, to feel the flow of tides mixing with your own. Your belly heaves. Your sex awakes. You thirst for touch and reach beyond yourself. You find your other, different yet the same. Exploring, you begin to merge. The movements build within you, exalting you, expressing you, caressing you. Your passions swell in ocean waves to crash upon the shore and satisfy your needs. The waters ebb and flow, nurture, cleanse, and heal. As they flow with each yearning, each movement, each breath, ecstatic and uniting, you merge complete within yourself and completed once again with another. You dance and rise and fall and rest. Your water, the essence of all forms, yet formless. You are the point from which each direction flows, and you are the flow. You are the one that feels, you are the one that moves, you are the one that embraces the other. Shall we flow together and join our souls in this journey down the river of life? Shall we flow together to the sea? Okay, sacral chakra exercises. Let's get our goddess pose on. God and goddesses pose. God and goddesses. Here we go. Ooh. Pelvic rock. Focusing on that orange ball right there in your pelvic area. Faster. Oh. Let's do our hips. Romeo wants to join us. Oh, those hips. Jazz walk, as they say. Jazz walk. Jazz walk. Okay, butterfly kicks. Oh. Ooh, my hip. Stop it. Oh. All right. I'm going to read our next chapter. This one is about will. Yesterday we did power. Today we'll be reading about will. Will. Oh. I think that clock is right on the wall. Let me just check the time real quick, guys. responsibilities today. Okay, we're good. I assess the power of a will by how much resistance, pain, torture it endures, and know how to turn it to its advantage. Friedrich Nietzsche. I'm going to read that again. I assess the power of a will by how much resistance, pain, torture it endures and knows how to turn to its advantage. Friedrich Nietzsche. How do you make something happen? Do you sit still and make fervent wishes? Do you wait for circumstances to fall into your place? Not likely if you want to make any effective change. For what you need to exercise, for that you need to exercise will. Will is consciously controlled change. Will is consciously controlled change. Will is consciously controlled change. Consciously controlled. As the second chakra opens dualities, we are presented with choices. Making those choices gives birth to will. Will is the means by which we overcome lower chakra inertia and the essential spark that ignites the flame of our power. Will is the combination of mind and action, the conscious direction of desire. The conscious direction of desire. The means through which we create our future, individually and collectively. If you're listening to any of my chapters that I'm reading in the book on this same channel, it's amazing to me, because I didn't intentionally set this up this way, but it's amazing to me how the two books are just flowing. Like when we were talking about the second chakra and Yamaya came up, well, it came up in the book too. I didn't plan that. That just happened. It's fabulous. It's like, there's a divine power running the freaking show. Which gives you major trust. And, it depends on where you're going to put your thoughts. You're going to put your thoughts in like black energy, dark energy. That's what you're going to see. You can put your thoughts in light energy. Just amazing things can happen both ways. Right? But it's a dance between dark and light. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. I'm going on a tangent. Okay. Will is the means by which we overcome lower chakra inertia and the essential spark that ignites the flame of our power. Will is the combination of mind and action, the conscious direction of desire, the conscious, not just willy-nilly, the conscious, no pun intended, the conscious desire, conscious direction of desire. That means through which we create our future. Personal power without will is impossible. Making will a primary key to the development of the third chakra. We all experience unpleasant events at various junctures of our lives, our journeys. At the emotional level of the second chakra, we may feel like a victim of our circumstances. I'm sure we can all relate to that. I know I do. As a victim, we feel powerless. Feeling this powerlessness and pain is an important step. Feeling it is an important step, as it puts us in touch with our needs. Isn't that an interesting thought? If you don't feel it, how do you know what it is you need? Like there's this beautiful quote. I don't know who wrote it, but I see it all the time and I just love it. Behind every behavior is a need. Instead of focusing on the behavior, you focus on the need and meet the need. You no longer have the behavior, right? Well, you got to know what the need is. How do you find out what the need is? You feel. You got to feel what you're feeling in order to figure out what it is you fucking need. A lot of times we don't know what we freaking need. We just know we don't feel good. Anyway, I go off sometimes. Let's see. Okay, getting to the third chakra, however, requires that we give up seeing ourselves as a victim. So to move up, we ground ourselves first to make sure we have security and stability for what we're about to freaking go through when we go through the second chakra, which is based on feelings, that come and go. And recognizing that we feel like a victim. Saying, I feel like I'm victimized. I feel like a victim here, which allows us to realize that that's a powerless place to be, right? So you feel those things. And I'm just interpreting what I'm reading from my own life experience. It doesn't mean it's true for everyone. Let's see. Getting to the third chakra, however, requires that we give up seeing ourselves as a victim and realize that lasting change can only come from our own efforts. And sometimes that's just baby steps, like little tiny baby steps. Get up, get out of bed, brush your teeth. And if that's all you can do for that day and then go lay down, it's okay. Because if getting up and brushing your teeth was hard, but you did it anyway, then you're doing good, right? You just do it again tomorrow, right? And you build on it little by little. Because life circumstances happen that knock us so fucking far down on the ground, feels impossible to get up again. And then you have to build brick by brick. A little emotional. Because I think human beings are amazing creatures. And we take it for granted that we have the power within us to restructure our whole freaking lives. And can you imagine if everyone was doing that just little by little? Collectively, we'd have a whole new reality, a whole new paradigm. How beautiful would that be? Okay. Okay. Getting to the third chakra, however, requires that we give up seeing ourselves as a victim and realize that lasting change can only come from our own efforts. If we blame others, our only hope for improvement comes from hoping others will change. That's very, very disempowering. If we blame others, our only hope for improvement comes from hoping others will change. That is futile. Something we can't control. When we take back responsibility, the changes come under the jurisdiction of our own will. Then we can truly heal from victimizing circumstances, because there are victimizing circumstances. There are. And it's harder to get out of them unless you heal from them. This is not to deny, this is not to deny that victimization does not exist and that many circumstances in our culture are hugely unjust. Nor is it touting the New Age belief that we are the sole creators of our own reality, created independently of all others. Instead, will is the realization that we can regard each challenge as an opportunity to awaken to our highest potential. This does not deny what has come before, but incorporates it, using it as a springboard for our future. While we can't always control what happens to us, we can control what we do about it and how we respond. The task of the will is, first of all, to overcome inertia. As stated earlier, inertia occurs in rest or in movement. Simple lethargy or laziness can be an example of inertia at rest. Once we get up and get going, our muscles oxidize and our hearts pump and we have more energy. Joggers, for instance, claim that they have far more energy on the days when they run, despite the energy they expend. I know that to be true for me. I used to be a runner. I used to run 3 to 5 miles 3 times a week. I was really young back then, in my early 20s, but I had so much energy, and I notice it now when I'm going to the gym daily. I have so much more energy on the days I put out energy. Go figure. Okay. Once we get up and get going, our muscles oxidize and our hearts pump and we have more energy. Joggers, for instance, claim that they have far more energy on the days when they run, despite the energy they expend. Energy begets energy through the creation of momentum. And momentum works both ways too, guys. Like, you can build negative thoughts until you're like got a whole fucking nightmare in front of you. And it is the will which begins the process. We also may find ourselves caught up in the momentum of something we would We also find ourselves caught up in the momentum of something we would rather avoid. Here we can use stillness to effect change. Meditation. By refusing to be part of the motion. Hey! And stopping it whenever it comes to us. Ignore. What do they say? Not my circus, not my monkeys. Ignore. In the Kabbalistic tree of life, will is the conscious combination of force and form from the third level, which relates to Hod and Netzach. Netzach provides the radiant beauty, not nutsack. Provides the radiant beauty, the energy, while Hod is the more intellectual state, the intelligence and form. Nice. Beautiful. Hod and Netzach. Netzach provides the radiant beauty, the energy, while Hod is the more intellectual state and intelligence and form. These reflect the role of the upward-downward currents as they meet in the third chakra. Will is most effective when it is intelligent and strategic. This keeps us from wasting our energy by trying to do things through force alone. We are more effective when we work smarter instead of harder. At Manipura, force and form combine and evolve each other to higher and more efficient levels. Once the third chakra flame has been lit, the fire is less difficult to maintain. Once the light of understanding has dawned, the path to further understanding is illuminated. When Kundalini rises to this chakra, she makes herself apparent. Here she kindles the fire to destroy ignorance, karmic traps, and physical impurities. It is at this chakra that Kundalini begins to burn. The first step in developing your will is to realize that you do have one. And that is functioning quite well all the time. Look around you. All that you see in your personal midst, you have created with your will. The clothing you are wearing, the home you live in, the friends you keep. Feeling powerless is not due to lack of will. but failure to recognize and connect with our unconscious use of that will. Failure to recognize that we have will is common. How many times in a day do you look at your tasks, exude a tired sigh, and say, or whine, I have to do this? We tell ourselves we have to go to work. We have to do the dishes. We have to run this or that errand. Or have to spend more time with our kids. It is disempowering to regard these circumstances as a dreary series of obligations rather than choices we make actively. I don't have to go to work, but I choose to because I like receiving a paycheck or because I like to honor my agreements. This subtle change in attitude helps us befriend and realign with our will. In talking about will, the distinction is often made between will and true will. If you do what someone tells you to do when you really would rather not, you are still exercising your will, but deep inside, it is not your true will. You have essentially given your will over to another. To get it back, we must realize we have chosen to do this and examine the reasons for that choice. Are we trying to please? Are we scared of the consequences? Are we out of touch with ourselves? How can we address these issues? Only by answering these questions can we truly see what our will is serving. So that's pretty cool, like self-reflection, self-awareness. It's really important work. It goes back to what we were just reading about, finding out what it is we really need. When you're in the feels of things, it's giving you direct communication to yourself of what it is you need because you're feeling something. It's telling you what it is you need, what you need as a person, like not what someone else needs, but what you need. What is it you need? Not what someone else needs. What do you need? What do I need? What do I need? So let's see here. Only by answering these questions can we truly see what our will is serving. Is it in service of looking good, being liked, keeping the peace, avoiding responsibility, remaining invisible? Once we know what our will is serving, we must then ask what it might be betraying. Is looking good betraying your honest needs? Is keeping the peace perpetuating negative circumstances that might need to be confronted? Is pleasing others lowering your self-esteem? To make these effects conscious is to empower ourselves to choose between them. True will requires deep communication with self, trust in your own volition, and the willingness to take risks and accept responsibility for those risks. That's a tough one. I know I've taken risks in my life that weren't really well thought out, and the consequences of those risks played out very unfortunately. Very unfortunately. Have I learned a lot from it? Yes. Am I a way stronger person I've ever been because I've had to go through it? Yes. Did I have great devastating loss? Yes. So that's important. You're going to take a risk. You're going to have to realize there's consequences, and you have to face those consequences. If we dare go against the grain by exercising our true will, go against the grain by exercising our true will, then we risk criticism, ridicule, and even abandonment. True that. It's scary stuff, especially if our family environment was heavily invested in the submissive paradigm. It is through daring to use our will that a stronger sense of self is born. And through that strength, the will is further developed. Like a muscle, we cannot strengthen our will without exercising it. And like all exercise, it serves us better when we do it wisely. True will can be seen as an individual expression of a higher divine will. It arises from our basic attunement with something larger. True will extends beyond ego self and embraces a higher purpose. It does not act for the sake of reward, but for the rightness of the action. As Aleister Crowley said, true will, unassaged of purpose, delivered from the lust of result, is every way perfect. Unassuaged of purpose. I need to look up that word. Unassuaged. I don't even know how to pronounce it. But I feel like this is a very important quote. So just give me a second here, guys, while I look that up. Let's see. Where's my internet tab? Where are you, little internet tab? Come on. There it is. How do you spell that word? Unassuaged. A-S-S, whoops. S-S-A-U, unassuaged. Adjective. Well, what does it mean? Definition. Not soothed or relieved. And it's pronounced unassuaged. 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 Interesting. True will, not relieved of purpose, delivered from the lust of results, is every way perfect. Okay, I like that. Therefore, if we are free from the ego's lust for results, the actions of our will take us to our destiny. If we are free from the ego's lust for results, the action of our will takes us to our destiny. While that destiny is not guaranteed to be pain-free, you can most certainly expect it to engage the third chakra and ignite the very core of your being. Detecting and using higher will is touchy business. There are many I know who use the concept of higher will as an escape from getting in touch with their own will. Still seeing power as outside of themselves. What does the universe want me to do in this situation? Why won't it give me a sign? Every decision is preceded by numerous card readings and endless seeking of advice from others. They may give their power over to others to decide for them, such as psychic, teacher, therapist, or guru. Seeking guidance is often advisable, though we cannot sometimes avoid responsibility in this way. Perhaps a better question is, what is my service to the world? How can I best do this power? I like that. Power within is an openness to the flow of power around us, and our wills wrap themselves around our purpose gracefully when these powers are aligned. Once we know our will, we return to a more practical level, how to effectively exercise it. First, we must make sure we are grounded. Without grounding, we are not plugged in and we do not have the force of the liberating current running through us. We are more easily pushed around, often responding instead to another's will. This takes the form of an intellectual will and overrides the inner desire of the body. It's easily spotted by the predominance of shoulds and have-tos in our internal dialogue. Self-discipline is important, but works better as a want than a should. Then our whole body-mind is in accord with it. Like power, will is often associated with discipline, control, and manipulation, such as the will to go on a diet, get through school, or finish a project. While discipline is essential to accomplish most things, it is another aspect of control over separate parts if there's not an internal agreement within the body and mind. It takes discipline to sit here and edit this book, yet my will and desire are connected to my purpose. The parts I have to edit the most are the parts I wrote when I made myself do it, because it was my time of day to write rather than become the inspiration. The parts I have to edit the most are the parts I wrote when I made myself do it, because it was my time of day to write rather than because the inspiration moved me. Those parts lacked power. Without agreement between will and desire, we lose our passion and our momentum and thereby dissipate the power needed to carry out our will. In order for our will to be engaged, we must also be in touch with our desires. How can we exert our will if we don't know what we want? While undue attachment to our desires may keep us trapped in lower chakras, suppression only blocks the force of the will. When a person feels deprived, unloved, or overworked, they are easier to manipulate. I'm going to read that again. When a person feels deprived, unloved, or overworked, they are easier to manipulate. They will flourish best when we are relaxed. The will flourishes best when we are relaxed, happy, and in touch with ourselves. However, will is not always in harmony with every desire. You may desire a piece of chocolate cake, but your greater will refuses it because you want to lose weight. You may not desire to take on a particular task yet, quite peacefully. Will yourself to do it anyway. We are all still serving our desires, but we are choosing which desires are most important in the long run. It is here that discipline becomes most important. The word discipline actually comes from disciple, the willingness to be a student of something. Here we are faced with the odd paradox of surrendering our will to a structure or a form that brings about fulfillment of that will. In this act of discipline, there is a certain transcendence of feelings, in that we may not feel like doing our meditation on a particular day, or we may not feel like going to work. Yet those feelings become irrelevant when our will is fixed to a larger purpose. In this way, the third chakra is both fueled by and yet transcends the feeling orientation of the second chakra. The feeling orientation of the second chakra. The desire, right? Desire is not always sexual. The desire to see something manifest, something for the bigger picture, for the higher good. The desire for that sparks the fire of the will. Knowledge of this will, with its infinite and constant choices, comes from a deeper sense of purpose. This purpose is born out of the orientation to the world. It is born from who we are, what we love and loathe, what our talents apply to. Each of us has a purpose, and our ultimate will is to fulfill that purpose. Hold on. This purpose can often sort out the difference between will and whim, often hard to distinguish. Whim is momentary. Will has a larger purpose. We examine the long-range effects of our actions and their part in our greater sense of purpose. We think in terms of far-reaching cause and effect. Our power, too, grows with the sense of purpose, for it gives us the direction that transforms mere energy into effective power. Okay, I'm going to read that again. We think in terms of far-reaching cause and effect. Our power, too, grows with our sense of purpose, for it gives us the direction that transforms mere energy into effective power. If we are unclear about that purpose, then it's hard to know just what our will is in a given situation. The task of consciousness is an accurate assessment of who we are. For within that mystery lies the purpose our will must address. Once we know our will, its strength increases through use. Often using our power is merely a matter of understanding that we do indeed have the power to begin with. Often using our power is merely a matter of understanding that we do indeed have the power to begin with. That understanding becomes solidified through use and experimentation, and results ultimately in gaining confidence. All chakras have their positive and negative aspects, and the overuse of the personal will can keep us trapped at this level, especially if that will is not in harmony with the greater cosmic will of which it is a part. The intelligent and sensitive person must recognize when their will becomes detrimentally dominating and overly controlling. And if they don't catch it, others will truly try to tell them. Engaging this chakra requires developing the will, yet the passage beyond this chakra requires the ability to yield our will when appropriate. A person of true power should not have a need to dominate. When personal will and divine will are one, then it is crucial that this will be followed. When personal will is out of tune with the greater will, it is equally critical that this difference be detected. From Crowley again. A man whose conscious will is at odds with his true will is wasting his strength. He cannot hope to influence his environment efficiently. At this point, the motives of our personal will must be re-examined. Failing to do this, we may find an undue number of obstacles in our way, making each step more difficult. Though many paths are difficult, the ones that are right for us have a coherency of flow that makes the difficulty easier to bear. It is the task of our intelligence to perceive the correct path. The task of the will is to follow that path. I'm just going to read that paragraph one more time. Failing to do this, so let's see. So let's just read this. Okay, so Aleister Crowley wrote, "A man whose conscious will is at odds with his true will is wasting his strength. He cannot hope to influence his environment efficiently. At this point, the motives of our personal will must be re-examined. If your will's not working for the will of the higher good, you know, what are you doing, right?" At this point, the motives of our personal will must be re-examined. Failing to do this, we may find an undue number of obstacles in our way, making each step more difficult. Though many paths are difficult, the ones that are right for us have a coherency of flow that makes the difficulty easy to bear. It is the task of our intelligence to perceive the correct path. The task of the will is like once you found the correct path, the task of the will is to follow that path. I love this book. Wheels of Life. I love it. I've read it so many times. Okay. That's it for now, guys. And tomorrow we're going to read about self-esteem. Oh, wait. Yeah, tomorrow's Friday. Oh, I might not be able to record tomorrow, unfortunately. I have a very, very busy day tomorrow. It might be a night recording. That might be fun, right? Recording at night. Maybe I'll even light some candles. Okay, that's it. Namaste, spirit warriors. Go find your correct path and watch the coherency of the flow.